Hi there, and welcome to Motivational Moments Live with me, Belinda Bwedu, your host. Welcome to Motivational Moments Live with me, Belinda Bwedu, your host. If you are here for another session of Motivational Moments Live, I am so grateful you are here to join me today. And if it's your very first time here, I would like to give you a very warm welcome and tell you a little bit about what Motivational Moments is all about. Motivational Moments is part of Impart and Impact, where we're all about providing consultancies for education, career, and business. And Motivational Moments Live falls under that umbrella, where it's all about providing you with all the motivation, inspiration you need to achieve your very best. As usual, I am more than excited to come to you today with some truly exciting topics. We're going to be dealing with some things that are really important. Supporting others is topic number one. Looking at what your drivers are is topic number two. And then finally, topic number three is looking at how your attitude will form your altitude. So without further ado, let's get started. So first of all, we want to take a look at supporting others. We've spent a long time, talking about all the right things to do when it comes to pushing yourself, making sure that you achieve the highest heights, all the things that are to do with inspiring you to achieve your very best. But every now and then, we basically need to find a motivation or need to find the inspiration that will help us in helping others. And it's about what can you do essentially to be a good support system to those around you, whether it's to your family, whether it's to your friends, whether it's simply to do with brands that resonate well with you, people that you think are doing well and you would like to support. That's essentially what we're going to be taking a look at today. So for example, you might well have friends, that are doing a particular thing, that have started a new business, that are, trying to find their footing, and they've come to you, share this idea with you, share this vision with you. They've told you they're launching, they're going live, and, they essentially want your support. Sometimes we think that the only way to support someone is to throw money at it, we think the only way to support someone is to acquire their services or buy their products. And often, even though that's a great way to support someone, and ultimately I'm sure that's what they're after, often, doing some other things that seem tiny can have huge, massive impacts. And it's to do with ensuring that we understand what those things are and that we are tying into it and doing our very best to be supportive towards those types of people. So number one, how can you support a friend, a family member, a brand that you're really interested in to get to that next level? Share it with others. Tell others about it. That's not going to cost you anything. We have so many means where we have our arms contacting various people across the globe, whether that be Facebook, whether that be Instagram, whether that be TikTok, whether that be LinkedIn, whether that be Twitter. I mean, I'm out of date these days. I don't even know what the new up and coming thing is, but it's just a matter of sharing a link, sharing a page, sharing, whatever it is, a picture. It's really not going to do any damage to your bank account, even time-wise, how much time does it take to do a quick share? You can share this in your stories if you don't want it to be something that lingers. It doesn't maybe tie in with your brand or what you're trying to promote. But it's such a simple thing to do, and it just doesn't cost you anything. And by doing that, you are helping that person's business, that person's what product, you're helping it thrive. Right now, I'm speaking to you. All you need to do is literally press the share button, literally copy the link, pass it on to a friend, post it in your WhatsApp, post it on your page, and voila, there are many other people who can be inspired and motivated to achieve their very best. It's really not that huge an effort, but often we are so focused on ourselves. We are so focused on, trying to do something for ourselves, or we tend to think, well, no one ever did that for me, so I don't understand why I need to do that for someone else. Be the change that you desire to see. When you start doing it, when you start being super supportive towards your friends, you never know how supportive that they might in turn be towards you. And even if they're not being super supportive, it doesn't matter. There's a reason why you are friends. There's a reason why, you and this person have come together. So be supportive. So sharing that person's profile, product, link, page is step number 1. Now, the next step is to talk positively about your friend or your family member or that brand. Talk positively, throw it in conversation. If you have someone looking for a particular type of product, don't send them to the big names, Don't send them to the people who already made it and are raking in the money. Why don't you recommend that small business that's just starting up? Why don't you make a recommendation to someone who needs that pick-me-up? I think it really isn't that big an effort to tell someone, gosh, have you heard of so-and-so? Have you seen that new, product that they've launched? They are new in the business. Everything is handmade. These are the efforts that they make. They're very ethical. Whatever it is, that is their USP. Find a way to share it with others, because when you share it with others and that person, even if you share it with one other person, that person gives that product a try, they're sold, they will tell 5 other people. Those 5 other people will tell 5 other people themselves each as well. It's not going to be that huge an effort to literally support a friend by doing something like that. Let's try to do better, people. Let's be supportive towards our families and friends and share in their businesses, share in what they're doing, so that they, ultimately, when they're elevated, excuse me for looking down, I'm trying to connect to something, so apologies for constantly looking down. But yeah, ultimately that's all you need to do. That's literally all you need to do to be supportive towards others. Share their links, share their products, share their pictures, and talk about their products positively. And then you get to the point where you can buy into that product. Sometimes we think, well, I'm the only person. If I'm the only person buying it, it's not going to make such a difference. But when someone is just starting off, that one purchase can be a real boost to them. That and often we think, well, so-and-so, my friend is selling this product or is providing this service, but I can find it way cheaper elsewhere. Is it more important to save those couple of pennies, pounds, cities, dollars, or is it more important to push somebody, and elevate them in building that enterprise? These are just simple things that we can do to be supportive towards one another. And then, I think there's a lot more, but I think what I would add to that as well is just tell them they're doing a good job, because it's not easy. It is really not easy to come up with an idea, to work on it tirelessly, day and night, mapping it out, planning it. You know, if you're developing a product, you have to go through loads of phases. If you're developing a service, you have to trial it. You know, it's a lot of time and effort. So to just say to someone that I think you're doing a really swell job and I'm really proud of you can be a real surprising boost to them. You know, so don't just be like, oh, okay, you know, yeah. They tell you I've launched my new product and you're like, oh, that's nice. Take the time to say, hey, that's a real effort. Even if it's not the most fantastic product in the world, even if it's not the most aesthetically pleasing, even if that's still working out some bolts and cogs, say something positive into their life. You can provide them with good critique, you know, share with them the fact that you know, there are areas that they need to work on. That's fine, but let it come from a positive place and let them know, okay, I think this is really good, but I think these are the areas in which you can make it even better. But you're doing a really good job. It takes a lot of courage to get up and launch a product. It takes a lot of courage to finally be able to realize your dreams. So let's support each other, people. Let's support each other. Sometimes some of us are sitting on such a high horse that we feel like, oh, I can't be associated with this, or I can't be seen doing that, or I can't be seen participating. Like, and what's all of that going to cost you? I can understand that sometimes you have a particular brand and you can't necessarily associate yourself with everything. I get that. But that's where you have maybe a professional page, and then you have a personal page. And you can do what you like on your personal page. You can share friends' stuff. You can do... You understand what I mean? But let's not constantly find ourselves on this high horse. There is no reason why you can't say, okay, maybe I don't have much time right now, but let me just share this to my friend. Let me just share this link to my friend. I think she may benefit from this. Especially those of you who you are really trying to get your people to support you. This would have been a fantastic place to say, let me start sharing this link on a few platforms so people know how to provide me with much needed support. So we've spoken about sharing that links, sharing the pictures of that product, sharing all these various things that doesn't cost you anything. We've spoken about speaking positively about that brand, speaking positively about that services, throwing it in conversations when someone needs a recommendation. Recommend your friend. Recommend that family member that really needs you. Don't send them to the big players. We've spoken about saying something positive to them, letting them know that you are proud of what they're doing, that they're doing a great job, because it's really not that easy trying to build your dream. And voila. And then, of course, we've spoken about supporting through purchasing, supporting through trialing that service. Sometimes the support you can even offer when someone is just trying to get themselves off the ground. For example, you may have a hair, what you call it? A hairdressing service, and are still trying to trial out different things. You might offer your hair as a way of like okay, try it on me, you know, because we're friends. I don't mind. Give that style a try on me. I don't mind you using my face or my hair as pictures that you can post on your social media handle, that sort of thing. All these things are you being able to provide support where it's needed. And for those of you who are behind the brands, for those of you who are behind the services, do remember the kindness that your friends and family showed you whilst you were rising up. You understand? Sometimes, you know, when we get to that position where we feel we've made it, then you can no longer book an appointment for your friend because, you know, you now deal with big players and you now deal with big clients. And for those of us who are providing the support, when you go and get your hair done, when you go get your nails done, when you get that dress sewn, when you go take those accounting services, pay for it. Pay for it. If you were going to do it elsewhere and you were going to pay for it, why would you not be paying your friend who really needs it? Sometimes I like this mentality is beyond me. It's completely beyond me. Why do we expect to receive certain things for free from our own friends and families, but we will happily go and pay twice that price elsewhere. Pay for it. And it's great if you receive a discount. That's fun. There should be a discount for friends and family rates of some sort, but pay for it. These people are struggling, they're striving, they're pushing every penny they've got into making that business a success. And then you go and sit there and you're like, oh, Ikea, please, me and you are friends. Let's make this happen. Like, no. Pay for the service. Someone's taken their time, their effort, their energy to do something. You need to pay for that service. You need to pay for that product. It's that simple, guys. That simple. So I shan't linger on that much longer. We're going to go ahead and move straight on to finding your drivers. Okay, I'm not talking about car drivers. I'm not talking about finding a suitable Uber or Ola or Bolt driver or whatever is the going thing these days. I'm talking about finding the things that drive you. Yeah. So for some of us, when we ask what motivates you, that's such a typical interview question. And I used to ask it a lot during my recruitment days. But when you are asked what motivates you, what really does motivate you? Some of us are motivated by money, a lot. Let's not lie. A lot of you, if you're very honest with yourself and you ask, what motivates me? What drives me? The answer is going to be money. Even if it's not money, it's going to be buying nice things for myself or whatever, which ultimately is money, right? For other people, it might be family. My family really drives and motivates me, etc., etc. It could be anything, but really what I want to sort of share with you today is that the thing that ought to drive you the most should be purpose. We have been talking for a while about purpose and gosh, purpose is like a whole book on its own with so many different chapters, but you need to be driven by purpose. And I'll tell you why. When you're driven by purpose, you are unstoppable. When you are driven by purpose, there is no height that you won't be able to achieve. And I'll tell you what makes the difference between being driven by, say, for example, money, right? If you're driven by money because you have a particular target that you're trying to reach so you can buy that fancy dress, buy that car, buy that house, when you've worked to a certain extent and you've reached that goal, you're done. Like, there is nowhere else you can go. There is basically, that's it. All you were doing was maybe working your socks off, working 4 jobs, not paying much attention to your family, not paying much attention to anything else, because all you're sort of focused on is making the money that will allow you to buy that car, that dress, that house, whatever, go on that holiday. Now that you're on that holiday, you get to, have a great time. Then you come back and life still continues. Or if you're motivated by, say, family, I'm trying to do something because of my husband, my wife, my children. At some point, that the children are going to leave the nest, and then what? Or you're motivated to do something for your husband or your wife is focused on doing their own thing, and then what? But when you're motivated and driven to achieve purpose, there is no height you cannot climb. And it doesn't matter whether you're making the money or whether you're not making the money, you are going to feel fulfilled. That's the thing about purpose, because it's innate, it's inside of you. It's just sort of like a wheel that literally is going to push you on. There is nothing that's going to stop you. Come rain, come shine, day or night, that thing's going to drive you. And when you're sort of following or in pursuit of your purpose, I've said this before, everything else begins to align. When you are motivated by money and you're chasing money, you will keep chasing. You just keep chasing. But when you have a bigger thing that's sort of connecting you and driving you, those things will start chasing after you. Before you know it, you weren't even paying attention and you've made enough money to buy the car. You've made enough money to buy the house because you're no longer working hard per se, but you're beginning to work smart. You're beginning your purpose, you're connected to your purpose, and you're asking, how do I make this work? How do I make this work to the best possible of my abilities? How do I even go beyond my own abilities and still make it work? When I'm not feeling adequate enough, I'm still going to find a way to find a way. You understand? So be driven by purpose. All the other things are great factors to have, they're great ideals to have. Of course, everyone wants to make money. Everyone wants to be able to live a lovely, comfortable life. Some of you want to do way more than that and really live grand. Of course, those are fantastic things. But when you get that, then what? Then what? What is that really all it is? The material things? Is that all there is to your life? For someone to say, oh, the guy that bought the really big house, or the guy that rides that Porsche, or the guy that, has all the ladies, then what? What? And so what? Then what? So you have to be driven by so much more than just money. You have to be driven by so much more than just getting the girls, getting the guys, looking pretty. You have to be driven by so much more than that. Be driven by purpose, because purpose will take you to where you need to go and beyond. Purpose will do more for you than money can do. Money can only go so far. I understand that they say money opens doors, money is the answer to all your problems, but really, there's also something that says the more money, the more problems. But when you're driven by purpose and you are in pursuit of your purpose, things will fall into place without you even needing to make the effort. Things will fall into place without you having to struggle for it to fall into place. So be driven by purpose. Yes, purpose. That's the number one. You can have the other things layering, following after, but purpose should be the number one thing, because how sad it will be for you to live your whole entire life and you didn't achieve purpose. And everything you did was just like playing. Everything you did, yes, you in your obituary, what do they write? You had a really nice house. What an obituary to read. The legacy you left is that you drove a Porsche Cayenne or whatever it's called. Wow. Or the legacy you leave behind is you had 15 different children with lots of women because you really loved women. Really? Really? How amazing would it be if it says something tangible, like this guy, this girl made a real impact in this world, changed the lives of many, achieved all their goals, it was very purpose driven, and as a result of that, they lived a great life, they had multiple mansions, they had etc, but really it's the impact they made. I don't know who on earth talks about how much money Mother Teresa had. I don't know who talks about how much money Gandhi had or how much money Jesus had. No, it's about the purpose they fulfilled whilst they were here. That's ultimately what's going to be remembered. And some of you are thinking, well, why are we talking about what's going to be remembered? I want to be able to live a great life now. Is it really a great life? When you are there in your empty mansion, staring at your wonderful empty high ceilings with no one to enjoy it with you because you were not purpose driven. You were so tunnel vision focused about one thing, making money, trampling on people during the course of making it, leaving your integrity behind because of making money. Really? I mean, I don't want to mention any names, but there's particular things going on in the social media now where people are whatever the truth is, but they're being so badly tarnished. If you mention the name, automatically you mention something alongside with it, and whatever the truth is in the middle, who knows? But Money doesn't solve all the issues. Boasting about how much money you have and how much money you make doesn't make you a great person. Being a great person makes you a great person, right? So let's focus on that. Let's focus about being good people and being driven by our purpose. And it's a perfect place for me to talk about your attitude is your altitude, right? And this is really simple explanation. So the attitude you have in life is going to determine how high you climb in life. Yes? If you have a rotten attitude, if you go around destroying all the relationships in your path, if you go around just being a pretty horrible person to know and to be around, there is going to always be a cap on how high you can rise. Because as much as you're swimming in your millions, people will always find something horrible to tag you with. Oh, that millionaire, he's such a horrible person. And you're thinking, well, in my horribleness, I'm swimming in my millions. But I mean, how far is that going to take you if you can't maintain relationships? And by relationships, I'm not just talking about romantic relationships. I mean relationships in business, relationships, friendships, relationships with family, relationships that are romantic. If you can't maintain them, if you can't keep them because you have a bad attitude, it limits the altitude in which you can climb. It's like bad fuel. It's literally like having bad fuel. There's only so much, the fuel can take you if it's contaminated. You understand? You think you're filling your tank up with so much fuel, but if it's contaminated, there's only so far it can take you. And that's what our attitude does. So if you go around having time for people, I think that's such a huge thing. We spoke in the beginning about supporting others. Sometimes we're so focused on everything that we're doing. It's hard. I can tell you, it's hard to find the balance, right? You have a long list of friends on your phone, and we're not saying that it's by force that you have to kind of like be there all the time, 100% for everyone, those you know well, those you don't know very well, right? But sometimes, when you get to a point where you're angry because so-and-so hasn't checked up on you in a really long time, and did they know that you've been unwell, and did they know what you've been passing through, and did they know what's happened to you? Have you ever asked yourself in that same space of time that so-and-so hasn't checked on you? Have you checked on so-and-so? Do you know what they are battling? Do you know the sorts of things that they are going through? And then you write statuses like, removing all toxic people out of my life because, I'm making changes. And it's like, really, is this toxicity coming from one side, or might it be a two-sided level of toxicity? Right? So don't be so consumed with just you. It's a bad attitude to have. Always being concerned with just you. It's not the right attitude that's going to lead you to high places. If you are easily upset, easily angered, you have minimal patience, someone was supposed to do something and they didn't do it the way you wanted it to be done, they didn't introduce you properly. Really? Like, seriously? It caps your altitude. Drop it. Let humility lead you. Arrogance is not going to take you anywhere. Being a hothead is not going to take you anywhere. Being self-centered is not going to take you anywhere. You have to aspire to have all the best attributes, great qualities, things that will lift you, right, in the eyes of others. Even when you haven't done anything that like, wow, I really admire that girl. I really admire that guy. They're just such a cool person. There's nothing too hard for them. People that I kind of admire a lot are people who you're never too much trouble. You understand? Like, they have the time of day for you. They're not consumed with the stuff that they're doing. Oh no, I don't have time. I'm busy. They have time to hear you out. They have time to, sort of help you where help is needed, give you a listening ear, provide you with some advice, send a quick link to you. Whatever I saw this and I was thinking of you, and send it to them. And not always like, oh, you haven't checked on me, you don't care about me, because you are who exactly over that other person. I mean, let's just do better. Let's do better. Let your attitude be your altitude. Yes? Let it be the thing that really lifts you. Sometimes that attitude is going to be the difference between you being mentioned in the boardroom over someone else, right? Sometimes that attitude is going to be the difference between you being sought after for your business, for your service, over someone else. How many times have you decided to change hairdressers, dressmakers, any service provider for the sake of they have a bad attitude? I mean, I've been there. I have definitely done that. You understand? Or you go somewhere and you feel like how they responded to you or how they took on your case. Therefore, you don't want to go there again. You've walked into a shop and they look at you up and down. You didn't happen to carry the level of caliber of people that they serve. Will you go there again? Do you have money to spend there? Were you going to make a purchase? But the attitude they gave you made you not want to deal with them again. That's the power that a good or a bad attitude can have. It really makes the difference between an open door or a closed door for you. So honestly, let your attitude be your, tell me. Altitude. That's it. Let your attitude be your altitude. So that's it in a nutshell. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer those for you. In the meantime, let me tell you, if you are not following my YouTube channel, I'll be so grateful if you did. Remember what we spoke about in the beginning, being supportive. Now that's a tiny little thing that you need to do to show your support. Literally go onto my page, Belinda Buadu. You can also search for Motivational Moments Live. And all you need to do is press follow and do a like and do a share and press the notification. And that's literally it. Really didn't cost you anything, but it makes a big difference to me. So please do go ahead and follow my YouTube channel. And as usual, if you are a man, let me get to that. If you're a woman, you know the drill. Follow Atana Women. I keep telling you, there's some things coming that you do not want to miss. And now I get to also say that if you're a man, you get to follow Atana Men's Hub. Atana Men's Hub. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and yeah, gosh, we are putting together something for the men that I think the women are gonna start being super jealous of. But let's all support each other. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. So let's all be in support of one another. If you are loving my attire, then you definitely want to make sure you're following Bella's Blessing. This is one of our lovely creations. So do go ahead and follow Bella's Blessing. And if you like to get some food inspiration, you certainly want to be following Belinda Buadu Cooking. Okay, so quite a few things that you can do to be supportive towards your sister girl here. I'll be looking out for all your follows, for all your shares, and I'm going to be super grateful for each and every one of them. Send your questions to me either by DM, put them in the comments below, and I will certainly try my best to address as many of those as I can. Otherwise, I'm going to leave it there. Love you all and leave you, and have a wonderful weekend. I hope you like this new nighttime vibe. As you know, I work around the kids. Whatever opportunity I get, I grab it. So I'm sorry if it's a bit odd to be listening to me at this time of the day, but as I always say, gotta soldier on. So have a wonderful weekend, guys, and stay safe. Ciao.